100 useful general knowledge questions everyone should know. Which country is the largest democracy in the world? India. Which country is the largest by population? India. Which drink is most consumed after water? Tea. Which natural satellite orbits Earth? Moon. Which invention connects computers worldwide? Internet. Which document is essential for international travel? Passport. Which country is the world's largest oil exporter? Saudi Arabia. Which universal language is most useful for travel? English. Which vitamin is most important for immunity? Vitamin C. Which natural resource is running out fastest? Water. Which country is the largest economy in the world? USA. Which gas protects us from harmful sun rays? Ozone. Which layer of the atmosphere has the ozone shield? Stratosphere. Which country invented the internet? USA. Which currency is used most in world trade? Dollar. What is the normal human body temperature in Celsius? –37 Celsius. Which country left European Union in 2020? UK. Which side of the road do most countries drive on? Right. Which material takes longest to decompose? Plastic. Which mineral prevents anemia? Iron. Which area is most at risk from rising sea levels? Islands. Which blood group is universal donor? O negative. Which blood group is universal receiver? AB positive. Which technology is used to verify identity using fingerprints or face? Biometrics. Which disease is caused by a virus? Dengue. Which energy source is cleanest? Solar. Which virus mainly affects the immune system? HIV. Which natural resource is essential for life? Water. Which chemical is added to water to prevent tooth decay? Fluoride. Which nutrient builds muscles? Protein. Which planet is closest to the Sun? Mercury. Which planet has the most moons? Saturn. Which gas do plants release during photosynthesis? Oxygen. Which continent has no permanent population? Antarctica. Which human organ purifies blood? Kidneys. Which planet is the largest in our solar system? Jupiter. Which animal is the largest mammal? Blue whale. Which organization deals with world peace? United Nations. Which city is the headquarters of the United Nations? New York. Which country has the most time zones? France. What does ATM stand for? Automated teller machine. Which blood group is most resistant to diseases? Blood group O. Which country manufactures around 70% of the world's smartphones? China. Which of these diseases causes the most deaths worldwide? Falciparum malaria. Which company created the Android operating system? Google. Which app is most used for instant messaging worldwide? WhatsApp. Which search engine is the most widely used? Google. Which country developed the bullet train first? Japan. Which festival is celebrated worldwide on January 1st? New Year. Which is the largest social media platform by active users? Facebook. Which day is celebrated as Earth Day? April 22. Which metal is liquid at room temperature? Mercury. Which company owns YouTube? Google. Which cryptocurrency was the first in the world? Bitcoin. What reduces chances of catching flu? Vaccine. Which food is best source of iron? Spinach. Which alliance is mainly for military defense? NATO. Which investment is generally lowest risk? Bonds. Which animal is most at risk from melting ice caps? Polar bear. Which universal symbol means recycle? Arrows. What is the daily minimum steps goal for good health? – 10,000 steps. Which habit lowers stress fastest? Deep breathing. What should you do if you smell a gas leak at home? Ventilate. Which ocean is warming fastest due to climate change? Arctic Ocean. Which organization sets international health standards? WHO. Which was the first COVID-19 vaccine to be approved for public use? Pfizer. Which country was the first to approve a fully tested COVID-19 vaccine for public use? United Kingdom. Which company owns Instagram? Meta. Which country launched the first satellite? USSR. Which app is famous for short videos? TikTok. Which app is widely used for online shopping? Amazon. Which disease is caused by high blood sugar? Diabetes. Which app is widely used for online meetings? Zoom. Which symbol is used for hashtags? Option A. Which app is most used for maps and navigations? Google Maps. Which company makes the iPhone? Apple. Which unit measures electricity? Watt. Which disease is spread by mosquitoes? Malaria. Which continent is home to the Amazon rainforest? South America. Which element do humans need to breathe? Oxygen. Which company created Windows operating system? Microsoft. Which planet is known for its rings? Saturn. Which planet is called Earth's twin? Venus. Which programming language is used for web pages? HTML. Which continent is the coldest? Antarctica. Which planet is known as the blue planet? Earth. Which invention made worldwide navigation easy? GPS. Which continent has the longest river Nile? Africa. Which water is safe for drinking? Boiled. Which light is safest for eyes at night? Warm. Which food is best for quick energy? Banana. What should you check before download an app? Reviews. Which group manages world trade rules? WTO. What is the best way to stop bleeding fast? Apply pressure to the wound. Which material is biodegradable? Paper. Which country has the Amazon rainforest? Brazil. Which food improves memory most? Fish. Which renewable source uses wind? Turbine. Which country first landed humans on the moon? USA. What is the best time to drink water for digestion? Before meal. Write your score in the comment box.